Welcome back to the channel. Today I want to talk to you about something that happened last week that I think is genuinely one of the most important developments in the memory trade this year, and almost nobody is covering it properly. Sandisk and SK hynix just announced a brand new type of memory. It is called high bandwidth flash, HBF, and if it works the way they say it does, it creates an entirely new market that did not exist 6 months ago, sitting right between the two biggest products in AI infrastructure. Now, I know that sounds like marketing. Every company in semiconductors announces a game-changing product roughly once a quarter. Most of them are about as game-changing as a new flavor of crisps, but this one is different. And the reason it is different is not the product itself, it is who is backing it, how fast it moved from concept to specification, and the specific problem that it solves. Because the problem it solves is the one that is currently constraining the entire AI build-out. I'm also going to take you through Sandisk's earnings, which dropped the same week because the numbers are extraordinary and the stock still fell, which should sound familiar by now. And I want to explain what HBF means for Sandisk, for Micron, and for the memory trade broadly, because the implications are bigger than most people realize. Now, if you are not subscribed, now is the time. This is the kind of deep analysis I do regularly, and you do not want to hear about this for the first time 3 months from now when the market has already moved. So hit the subscribe, hit the bell, and let us go. First, let me explain the problem HBF is designed to solve, because without understanding the problem, the product means nothing. Right now, AI data centers have two types of memory. Think of it as a kitchen. At the counter, right where the chef is working, you have HBM, high bandwidth memory. It sits physically on top of the GPU, it feeds data at extraordinary speed, and it is the most expensive, most scarce, most fought over component in the entire AI supply chain. That is where the action happens, but the counter is tiny. You can only fit so much on it. Then, in the back of the kitchen, you have the pantry. That is your SSD, your solid state drive. Enormous capacity, you can store everything in there, but every time the chef needs an ingredient, someone has to walk to the back, find it, bring it forward. It is slow relative to what the chef needs. And here is the problem. AI inference, which is what happens when you actually use an AI model. Every question that you ask, every image you generate, every agent that runs needs both. It needs speed and it needs capacity, because the models are getting bigger, the context windows are getting longer, and the amount of data that needs to be accessible quickly is growing faster than either HBM or SSDs can solve on their own. HBM is fast enough, but there is not enough of it. SSDs have enough capacity, but they are not fast enough. There is a gap in the middle, and for the first time, somebody has built something to fill it. That is what high bandwidth flash is. It sits between the HBM and SSDs. Think of it as a prep station between the counter and the pantry. Not as fast as the counter, not as big as the pantry, but fast enough and big enough that the chef stops having to choose between speed and capacity. In technical terms, and I will keep this simple, HBF uses NAND flash, which is the same technology in your SSD, but stacks it vertically and connects it directly to the processor using something called UCIe, which is an open chiplet interconnect that gives it bandwidth of up to 3 terabytes per second, which is vastly faster than any SSD, while offering capacities up to 512 gigabytes, which is vastly more than a HBM can provide. Even the slowest HBF grade is roughly 30 times faster than today's best storage. And, this is critical, it is an open standard, not proprietary, published through the Open Compute project, which means any manufacturer can build to it. Now, here is why I said the backing matters more than the product. The HBF consortium currently includes 4 names: SK hynix, Sandisk, Google and Tenstorrent. You have the world's biggest memory maker, the world's biggest flash maker, one of the world's biggest AI consumers, and inference chip company, all agreeing on a standard. 6 months after the consortium launched in February, 6 months from concept to published specification, In the semiconductor industry, that is absurdly fast. Standards normally take years. This one went from a kickoff event at Sandisk headquarters in February to full specification presented at FMS in Santa Clara in August. That speed tells you something. It tells you the problem is urgent enough that competitors who would normally fight over standards for half a decade decided they could not afford to wait. Now, when SK hynix and Sandisk, two companies that compete directly in memory, sit down and jointly publish an open specification, the problem they are solving is not theoretical, it is commercial. It is now. Now, let me connect this to Sandisk earnings because the timing is not coincidental and the numbers frame why HBF matters commercially. Sandisk reported fiscal Q4 on August 5th, the day after the HBF specification was unveiled at FMS. And the numbers were, by any historical standards, extraordinary. Revenue came in at 8.97 billion, that is 372% year-over-year growth and 51% sequential growth. Let me say that again. Revenue grew 51% from one quarter to the next. Not year-over-year, quarter-over-quarter. Gross margins hit at record 84.6%. Data center revenue was 2.98 billion, up 103% sequentially. So the data center business doubled in a single quarter, and the pipeline of long-term agreements, the contracted revenue with financial commitments from customers reached 93.9 billion. That is up from 42 just a few months ago, more than doubled. The CFO said the NAND market will exceed 500 billion by 2027 and that supply will remain tight into 2028. Guidance for the next quarter, 10.3 to 10.8 billion, and the stock fell 5.4%, which at this point in the cycle should surprise absolutely nobody. The numbers are spectacular, the expectations were even more spectacular, and in a market asking when does the growth slow down, even a 372% increase gets treated as evidence that the peak might be near rather than proof that the story is alive, which, if you think about it, is roughly the emotional equivalent of running a personal best in a marathon and being told by your running coach that you did not look like you were enjoying it enough. Technically feedback, not exactly what you wanted to hear. Now, why HBF matters for Sandisk specifically and why it potentially matters for the whole memory trade. The bear case on Sandisk has always been that NAND supply can respond faster. HBF potentially changes that equation because HBF takes NAND, Sandisk core product, and moves it up the value chain. It is no longer just storage sitting in the back of the kitchen waiting to be called in. It is an active participant in the inference pipeline bonded to the processor, delivering bandwidth that is 30 times faster than traditional flash. That is a fundamentally different product with a fundamentally different pricing power. You do not price a prep station the same way you price a pantry shelf. The closer the product sits to the processor, the more value it captures and the harder it is to replace. So if HBF achieves commercial adoption, and that is still an if, Sandisk business shifts from selling commodity storage into selling a performance critical component of the AI inference stack. That is a structural change in the company's competitive position, and it is the kind of change that justifies a very different valuation. Now, let me be honest about what is still uncertain, because I am not going to hand you only the bull case. HBF samples are expected in the second half of 2026. Commercial adoption is later. So this is not in the revenue today, it is a roadmap. The specification covers 3 bandwidth grades, which means the industry itself has not yet decided which performance level the market actually needs. That is a normal for a new standard, but it means the commercial sweet spot has not been proven. And Samsung, which is notably absent from the consortium, has announced its own competing approach called ZHBM, which takes a different architectural route to solving the same problem. So there is a standard battle ahead, and standard battles create uncertainty. But here is the counter argument. I think it is strong. The consortium already includes the world's largest HBM maker, the world's largest flash maker, one of the world's largest AI inference customers, and inference chip designer. Samsung is outside. If Google is designing its next generation inference architecture around HBF rather than ZHBM, that is an enormous commercial advantage for the consortium, because Google's scale makes whatever it adopts the de facto standard, regardless of what Samsung prefers. If that happens, Sandisk is not just a storage company riding the AI wave, it is a co-creator of a new memory tier with a published open standard backed by Google, 6 months from a concept to specification, and a 93.9 billion of contracted revenue already in the pipeline. That is a different kind of animal, and it is the reason I wanted to break this down properly rather than just showing to you the earnings. The earnings tell you what Sandisk did last quarter. HBF tells you what Sandisk might become. And in this market, what you might become is both the most valuable story and the most dangerous one. Valuable because it justifies enormous upside. Dangerous because it is not proven yet, and a stock that has already fallen nearly 50% needs proof, not another promise. So, where I stand on Sandisk right now, the fundamental picture is the strongest it has ever been. The chart is not ready. The stock fell 5.4% on a record quarter. It's trying to repair, but it needs to prove itself first. It needs to build a base, prove that institutional selling has ended, and show me that the Investor Day on August 13th can be a catalyst rather than just another headline. And the question that matters are specific. How much of 2027 and 2028 output is already spoken for? What is the HBF timeline to commercial revenue? How durable are the 84% margins? And how much of the long-term agreement pipeline has pricing protections built in? Those answers determine whether Sandisk is a stock that corrected and recovers, or a stock that peaked and spends a year building a new base. I will be covering it all as always. That is Sandisk and HBF, a new memory tier, an open standard published in 6 months, backed by some of the biggest names in AI inference, solving the gap between the counter and the pantry that is currently constraining the entire build-out. It might be the most important thing to happen to NAND in a decade, or it might be a specification that collects dust while Samsung's approach wins. We do not know yet, but the speed, the backing, and the $94 billion in contracts tell me it is worth understanding before the market prices it, which given the market's current mood could be a while. And that is fine, because understanding it before the market prices it is the entire point. So subscribe, hit the bell, everything I cover, the levels, the setups, the entries on these names goes in the Discord daily. When the signal fires, I will be posting it, and if you're there, you will know. Free week on the link below, check it out. And with Investors Days, this is a good week to be in the room during the call. Remember, process over prediction, confirmation over conviction, data and price action always. Miss them out.